don't think that it's not going to happen again, because it will. Most likely, if they did it one time, si el perro muerde una vez, va a volver a morder. They're going to promise you, they're going to tell you it's not going to happen again, I'm sorry, and they're going to cry. Welcome back to Last One y Nos Vamos! Oh, I feel like I'm being really loud.
You are being loud.
How are we doing? Checking in over here on my, what side are you on the camera?
Side.
Checking in on the right side, we have...
Lorenzo Lencho Jr. What is that, Jay?
And over here you have your favorite Margarita. You can find me. Ew, that was annoying. Where did that come from?
I know.
That was
English all of a sudden.
I don't even know what that was.
No way.
You guys can find me on TikTok as your favorite Margarita, on Instagram as your favorite Margarita, and on Only. I'm just kidding.
No promotion.
Just kidding. I was gonna say. So just kidding.
Yeah, you pretty much did.
I did, as I said. Okay.
We're not editing this out either.
Sure, I guess we can leave it in.
Just kidding.
Okay, we can. We'll see. We'll see if we leave it in. Okay, so I just want to get right into it, honestly. Because it's just like...
pelear?
Quiero pelear. Fight. So relationships. Relationships are complicated.
Why are you bringing this relationship topic? Is there something going on or what?
Yeah, no. Before I get to it, but I don't you feel like relationships are complicated? Like, I feel like no relationship is perfect.
It shouldn't be.
No, like everybody comes with their own flaws. Everyone comes with their own traumas, with like their relationship traumas, childhood traumas, and they pretty much, if they're not healed, they bring it into the relationship. But anywho, I do want to get into it, and yes, there's a reason why I brought it up, and that's because I don't know if you guys heard, or if you heard about the mass shooting that happened in OC a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you hear about it?
I saw it on X.
On what?
On X.
Oh, Mood? Is that the new Twitter?
Yeah.
The new Twitter name? Okay. All right. So pretty much this, a retired sergeant, deputy sergeant, whatever, he walked into a bar, and he just went up to his, I guess, estranged wife, or his ex-wife to be, because they were still together, and he just pointed a pew at her, and pretty much just pew.
Did it there at the bar?
Yeah, he pretty much, just, we can't say the G word, huh?
No, ma'am.
No, okay. You guys know what I mean. You guys know what I mean by this. Are you even allowed to show this?
Sure.
Okay, back to it. So he pretty much did that, and then he just opened fire. Okay, we can say open fire. He opened fire to the restaurant. So he got her first, and then started, going off on everybody else. And pretty much he ended up injuring 9 people and ended the life of 3 people. And one of those people that passed away was a friend of the ex-wife.
Okay. Did he? It might go a little too far, but did he end his own life?
He didn't.
Okay.
Great question. So pretty much what happened afterwards, he ended up going outside. They call 911, and they pretty much had a how would you say, a battle with him with the police officers. And yeah,
sorry.
so
beep.
We'll cut that out. And he pretty much, they ended his life.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it ended right there.
Yeah, I saw one of, I can't remember if it was the news, and they interviewed a guy, and he said he was kind of like flagged down from an actual person.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, don't go because there's a gun shooting going on.
Yeah, it's so crazy because it's just like there's really not that many details. The only details that they have is like pretty much like the motive of why that happened is probably because they were going through a divorce. So the wife ended up filing. She ended up filing for divorce, I believe, last year.
Mm-hmm.
Or the year before that. Well, she did file for divorce, and I guess maybe that's a possible motive. It was an ongoing.
Only motive he needed?
That's the thing, and I'm just like, there's that they were saying that they didn't seem like there was many issues. When somebody, like a couple people that they had witnesses that they had interviewed, they had said that maybe it looked like they were going to be going through the divorce, but there was like the wife never reported that there was like any signs of like
abuse.
Are we allowed to say abuse?
Abuse.
Of abuse or anything like that. But he is a police officer. See, this is just my assumption. Okay? He's a police officer. They have to carry this image, right? So they can't really, maybe she felt like, okay, I can't, ruin his reputation.
Like she can't ruin his reputation,
like
but he ruined his own reputation.
Right.
So how does it make it any better?
Right. So they were married for a really, really long time. And, throughout the time, maybe there was something, maybe, what if? Because, like, all of a sudden, like, you know what, I'm tired of it. But what was she tired about? Right? What was she tired of?
Eso es privacy?
Exactly. No, yeah, that's totally fine. But, like, the thing is that, like, okay, he's a police officer. And maybe if she did report it, maybe they probably wouldn't really do much about it. Because he has such high power. That's just my opinion. But I'm pretty sure
he has high power, huh?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What was she doing at the bar?
So she was just, I think they were just celebrating. They had spaghetti night. I guess it was like that night. They always have like spaghetti night, so they were there.
I think they were like
spaghetti.
Celebrating somebody's birthday, right?
Oh, they were celebrating somebody's birthday?
I think so.
Okay. Well, I guess they were celebrating somebody's birthday with spaghetti.
Hi, spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah, so el tóxico.
But you think it was really that's toxic because the way the situation happened. But then again, you are saying he was a part of the law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
So what if, I've heard, and again, I'm not saying everybody's like this, but I heard that a lot of people that are law enforcement, they stress out a lot.
Yes.
They, backlash on alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yes, and that's good thing that you bring that up.
It could be a lot of things.
Yeah, statistically speaking, there is a report where they made on law enforcement. Whoever, pretty much for people who work in law enforcement, that their divorce rate is the highest. Mm-hmm.
But I get it because again, a lot of the times are gone from their family.
Yeah, they are.
So.
And I don't know her background. That's something I didn't see. I was trying to see, okay, what did she do? But I didn't see, and I couldn't find anything regarding like, okay, what did she do? Maybe she was a stay-at-home mom or anything like that. But something that, I know I'm going to be all over the place right now, but she's okay, even though she,
Oh man, really?
Yeah, she's okay, even though he got her on her, I guess on her
jaw.
On her jaw. She's okay. She's in critical condition. Well, I guess not okay, but she survived.
She's a survivor now.
Yeah, she survived. So some people that were injured, they've already been released from the hospital.
Well, we do send out our prayers for them.
Yeah,
whoever has lost their lost ones or people that got injured in this situation.
And people who were hurt. Mm-hmm.
People that were hurt. But yes, we should not be going off and hurting other people for your situation. Again, we don't know what went wrong or what went good in the relationship. But yeah, there's a lot of factors to it.
Yeah, and another thing that I'm thinking is that this person, maybe they didn't have any issues, but
this was a very bad downfall?
Yeah, maybe it was a really a big downfall because he's a police officer. So police officers, they have authority. And something, I'm not saying that he was an abuser or anything, but something that a lot of like people who are abusive, they have power, they have this need of power. I mean, this need to have power of authority over somebody else. So maybe her saying, you know what, I'm done with you. They probably just fell out of love and he got upset. He's like, oh, heck no. I'm going to go and do some damage.
I mean, there's a lot of things going on right now. Like, there's so many, situations that we're, like, pinpointing. And I'm like, should law enforcement people have a therapist? So should they have a therapist, like, every year for their relationship?
Like, making it mandatory?
Almost. But for yourself, like, I really believe they wouldn't, like, law enforcement should have. And maybe that's a good point. Maybe make it mandatory for them.
Yeah, maybe.
At least a section a month.
Excuse me. Maybe, yeah.
For it would
definitely be beneficial. I feel like it would be beneficial.
Because like you mentioned already, there's always been a lot of divorces at the highest divorce rate. So making mandatory or making it an option to offer that, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, are you talking about like Billions? Totally off topic, but you know how in Billions they have a psychologist or a therapist on site?
I wasn't putting it one-on-one, but there you go.
Hey, that's, I mean, it's optional. Whoever wants to do it, they can go ahead and do it. But yeah. That's something that I did want to talk about. Like I like to look at situations from pretty much from all point of views. Right. So we kind of talked about why he might have done it, right? So maybe it was because of authority, maybe because it was this, maybe because it was that. So along with that, going back to the wife. So once she had filed for divorce, this is where I feel like maybe there was something going on behind closed doors, right? Because even me personally, I don't like putting my, our relationship issues out there like that. Even though some things might come out, it is what it is. But somebody had mentioned that after she had filed for divorce, she started posting more like on social media, and then they said that she wanted to have friends. Allegedly, right? Because I mean, I don't know the whole full story. There's, pretty much just whatever I had seen, but it almost made it seem like she almost felt trapped, and that's pretty much what a lot of people who are in abusive relationships they feel trapped. They feel like they can't really do much.
But then, if you're saying that at that point, I feel like it goes back to the deputy as well, because he just, on his job, always stuck, and the only relief time was with his family. But then maybe for her, it was a downfall because all the stress he was bringing back home. Yeah,
he would. That's another good point. Like he would bring his work back home. I know.
So, anything else you got for the wife?
That's pretty much it.
Okay, well, we're gonna make you a little pop quiz for everybody and ourselves, I guess.
Oh gosh.
Maybe we can realize, like, hey, we think we don't have these situations, or not situations, but traits. And maybe you do have some, and this could be, beginning start. Just saying, I'm not agreeing. So there's gonna be 5 traits that I'm gonna be speaking out, guys. So make sure you count them with your fingers. So let's see how many you guys have out of these 5. Are we ready?
We'll see if I want to expose myself, okay?
Well,
because
again,
like I said,
toxic moment because she doesn't want to expose herself.
No, because like I mentioned, there's certain things that I want to, between us, deal with it between us, and then there's other things.
I think being toxic is dealing it with yourself. Sorry to say.
Toxic. Yeah, no, of course. Recognize your toxicity and then work on it on yourself.
This is what we doing. Doing it to yourself.
Okay,
I'm not putting anybody. All right, guys, you ready? So out of the 5.
So the rules. Go over the rules again.
It's just if you feel like you have this trait, you're just gonna put a finger up and see how many you have out of the 5. You're basically gonna be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So there's 5. Okay.
So the first one, guys, see if you have this trait. First trait, low confidence and self-esteem.
I do.
All right, so 1 out of the 5. We're going to the second one, insecurity. All right.
Wait, I thought it was the same thing.
No.
Okay, so then just one.
Low confidence,
low self-esteem.
Self-esteem and insecurity are different.
But don't low self-esteem and confidence go the same?
No.
Go hand in hand?
No.
Okay,
low confidence is low confidence, and insecurity is like you're not secure of yourself.
Okay.
All right, to the third one. We're moving along. So do you have 1 or 2? Because you're throwing us off there.
1.
All right, guys, ¿cuántos tienen? ¿Ya tienen 2 out of 5? Or no tienen nada? The third one, overthinking. So 3 out of the 5. All right, guys, we're moving along here.
I'm not an overthinker. Do I overthink?
I don't know.
Do I overthink? I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Number 4, guys, paranoid personality.
No.
Paranoid personality for me, I I want to say sometimes, just depending on the situation.
What was the previous one again? Overthinker. Okay.
All right, and final last one. And has to do with basically your back situations in the past or history of trust issues.
No.
All right, so Margarita, great job. You did 2 out of 5 if you're being sincere to yourself.
I bet when you were going through these, you were like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, she better have all her 5.
No, yo nomás aquí ayudando, guys, para que sí se lleven su homework and work on yourselves there.
See, I felt like the self-esteem and what was the second one? Insecurity go hand in hand, and then the overthinker and the paranoid one goes hand in hand.
No, they're different though.
Because if you're overthinking, you're is it paranoia? Are we gonna go through these? Like, are you gonna read through them? No, you don't want to. This
is your homework, guys. You guys gotta work with yourself and work on the ones that you have your fingers up.
Yeah. No,
because if I point stuff out, you're gonna be on the defensive. Like, this is something that you gotta go back and reflect yourself and be like, all right, do I really have this one? Do you have to make, what's it called? Is it the web? The one with the 2 circles?
Oh yeah, do the web. Like, okay, why am I over? Like, what is it that I do that I over? Why do I always like? There's always certain things that I overthink about a lot.
Yeah. So there you go. That's why I want to see that you guys do your homework, go on your own time, work on yourself if you really are going to start doing it.
I'm like insecure. I'm like my comfort pillow that I'm always caressing.
So ya ves.
But this is relationship. This is regarding the relationships, right? Or it's overall?
Well, if you don't work on this on yourself, you're going to take it to your relationship.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You see?
No. It's because I'm thinking. I'm trying to think like that. I thought that was... Okay, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to... Guys, just because you saw maybe 1 out of the 5 doesn't mean that I never had these for me. Not like I never thought about it and say, hey, I didn't have these. I did. But overall, I've worked with them for myself, and I think I'm pretty good at them now. So.
How about you? Which one did you pick? Did you
only pick one?
Which one was it?
That was the fourth one.
Definitely not overthinking.
That was the 4th one. I do have overthinking.
Paranoia?
I have overthinking, but I think it's more of a paranoia one for me.
Paranoia, really?
Paranoia personality, depending on the situation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think some of it just depends.
Paranoia is almost like, it could be hand to hand, but paranoia is like more not for yourself that it can happen, but more towards something or someone.
Or someone else.
And the overthinking, I feel, is like more on you that you not sure about your decision for yourself.
Okay.
That's for me. Again, I'm not saying this is what it is. This is how I see it.
Well, I'm glad that you brought those up. So you said low self-esteem,
insecurity.
Okay, low self-esteem, insecurities,
overthinking.
overthinking.
Sorry, Ice. History of trust issues
and all of that. So it's funny that you brought that up because that's okay. So since we're talking about like relationships and toxic relationships, like that story, like this man came most probably because he was insecure.
There was
maybe he was maybe he was insecure. Maybe he was being paranoid about something. There was something, and that's really common for people who are being abused, and then also people who are being abusive. Like all of those traits, they might have some or not have all of them.
Right.
So for a lot of the abusers, and it's more like, and I want to talk about this because it's just. Like there's probably people out there watching right now that they're probably going through this situation and that they don't know how to get out of it. So I hope it reaches the right audience, just kind of try to help them out, see it, because sometimes sometimes you don't see what is happening in your current environment because you're so blinded of everything that's going on around you.
Right.
But sometimes hearing it from a different perspective, or somebody else telling you, like I said in another episode, where like I was doing something and then somebody else called me out on it, and I was like, oh dang, I do that. And then you change it or try to fix it. So like with the abusers, we already said that they're very, if like, let's say if you're in a relationship and someone's being like manipulative, bringing you down all the time. So if they're manipulating you, you're always going to be overthinking it. So what I'm going to say, it's pretty much going to be reflecting like back and forth, right? So from the abuser's perspective, and then the person who's being abused. Yeah. So if you always feel like you're always having to walk on eggshells, you're always having to question everything that you do, and anytime that you're around this person, if you don't feel
it's not you.
Yeah, maybe it's not you. Maybe it might be the other person who's doing this, and I get it. Sometimes, can you think about the reason maybe why some people end up sticking around? Maybe, like they're getting it's physical or it's verbal, and it's crazy because sometimes you don't even notice that it's happening.
And well, a twist to that, and I don't know, I think I've mentioned it to you, but the problem is, and this is the blindfold of it, is like, think about it, guys. Usually you end up with somebody that has a trait that one of your family members have.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it could be anything. Like, it could be from skin color, facial expressions, smile, anything. Yeah, anything. You're like, what the heck? And maybe you haven't seen it on your partner, but they do have something, and this is where you become blindfolded. And then that's when the relationship, if you haven't worked on yourself on the 5 things, but both of you are like all 5 all the time, pues ya se puede saber cómo va a ser esa relationship.
Yeah, no, you're right, and it can be from both, because like you said, you're always going to bring something from your past, whether it's from your past relationships, whether it's from your childhood, or from both, right? Because it's really common, for statistically speaking, based on research that I've seen, it's really common for the partner to look for something, that pretty much falls into the same pattern, maybe from where they grew up. Or what they experienced, and then sometimes they bring those trust issues from whatever relationship.
Yeah, y por eso como I think I'm a disc, basically scratch and always repeating myself, but this shows again that if your partner can bring something to you that's beneficial, you need to move on.
That's not beneficial, right? Yeah.
No, that if your partner cannot bring something beneficial, can bring something. If your partner doesn't give you something that's beneficial for you, then he's not the one for you. If he can make you better, basically. Yeah,
you always want to find someone that's going to do better. It's always, you always want to find someone who's going to hype you up.
Porque eso de puro put you down, como estabas diciendo a couple minutes ago, pues no. Eso ya yo lo tengo yo mismo, para que quiero alguien más que me ayude.
See, and it's different. And I'm going to be 100% open. About this. Not everything, of course. Me, I am insecure for myself, because, this pretty much just stems from, from childhood trauma or whatever. And all of that just brought it in, and it's been like so many years that I've been dealing with my weight. Because it's something that I've always been taunted about, and it's something that I need to work on myself. It's not something that, let's say, that you put me down or you say something negative about it. I don't, and you don't. You don't.
Pues como voy a yo decir algo? Come on now. But there you go. Like, what if I would and I don't even see it on my own self?
But that's the thing. What I'm saying, it's like, because I know we said, I have a low self-esteem. Like, that people have low self-esteem because your partner's probably beat down. But I just want to make it clear that
no
he
soy tóxico. Bueno, es lo que yo digo.
But yeah, no, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, just look for those. I know it's easier said than done to, if this person has, if they don't benefit you in any way or they're not helping you grow, just leave them. It's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But it might take a couple of times, and that statistically speaking, it does take about, I think it's 3 times for someone to actually just leave the relationship.
Damn.
Whether if it's abusive, abusive, especially like if it's physically abusive, it takes that many times. I'll have to correct. I think
three times, huh?
3 times. So let's say they get maybe they get.
Does it really count in this nowadays though?
What?
3 times?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a lot of people stick around for that long no more.
Oh yeah.
You really think so?
Mm-hmm. Statistically speaking.
But I don't know. I just feel like there's way more divorces now.
Not with that. It's because it just
like
takes
it's a whole different like it's the same category, but then that becomes like a different part of the category.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of doesn't make sense. Like yeah, we're talking about the same thing, but then when you're married, it becomes something differently.
It's whether you're married or not. Whether you're married or not, they tend to.
I'm saying that because the vows, right? That you're gonna stick around through sickness, you're gonna stick around through harm, blah blah blah. We know this, but I just feel like that's been broken.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with that if you want to break it. I mean, if you don't want to live with that rule of thumb, good for you. Is that your partner, your decision? Okay, but I just feel 3 times and then somebody moves on. I don't really see it, but
it's because I feel like they probably go through stages. The first time it's just like, okay, maybe they'll change.
But it only,
that's
okay, so in one relationship.
Yeah, and let's say in one relationship, okay, maybe they will change, and then the next one is just like, okay, you know what? They go through like, please, I will never do it again. Okay, maybe they'll change again, and then.
So is it one topic, like one situation?
Just whatever the situation is.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like one situation, it's not different situations. Like
it can be different. Whatever the situation is, like they're just like, okay, that it is what it is. And then there's people who will just stick around, maybe because of the kids. And that's something that I did see a lot, is that people just stick around because of like their environment, right? What if they financially depend on that person? If they financially depend on that person, or maybe sometimes they even stick around because they're afraid, and it can be dangerous for them to leave. Meaning, just like this person, right? Just like the situation that we talked about. Maybe they've threatened their own life, meaning like the abuser has probably threatened, like, if you leave me, I'm going to end myself, or if you leave, I'm going to come after you and your family. So it's that threat where that's why it makes it hard to leave. That's what I'm saying. It's easier said than just leave. This person's super toxic. Why are you still with them? And another thing that I did see is due to trauma bond. So trauma bonding, have you heard that before?
What, like you're used to somebody or you're used to a situation?
Yes. So from what I remember, there's 2 different things. So trauma bond, the first one is, the one person sympathizes or empathizes with their partner because their partner has gone through trauma, through abuse. So that person's always saying, well, I'm like this because I was, this happened when I was younger, or my previous relationship. Or it can be like they're both, both of them had serious trauma or just trauma in their past. So they pretty much stick together because of that. It's like, okay, well, we went through this and we understand each other. Nobody else understands me, so I'm going to stay here. But yeah, that's some of them. I can't.
And that's crazy. If you really think about it like that, I'm sorry to say it, but you guys need help.
No, yeah, of course. A lot of people who are abused, people who are being abusive, of course they need help. They definitely help.
In a relationship way.
Yeah.
Like that should be a red flag to be like, God, like we need help. If we're gonna stick around, we need help. Relationship therapy.
Yeah, but again, it's easier said than done. It's easier to say, well, well, just go get help, right? Because it's not, maybe the resources aren't there. Maybe, again, therapy, I strongly feel that therapy is something that will come within. Change always comes within. And I said that, I said this a bunch of times, that change comes within. If you want to change, you're going to go to therapy. Or if you don't want to go to therapy, at least reflect on those, those five traits that you went over. Go over those things and try to make a change yourself. Mm-hmm. And while you're trying to make that change, there's going to be times where you're going to have a downfall.
When even that person, your partner's going to be like, ¿por qué andas cambiando? Así te quiero.
I know.
And that's a toxic.
That is a toxic trait. No, yeah.
Too.
That's another thing. And it's funny, I thought you were going to go with this, but yeah, like, why are you changing? Why are you being weird? Mm-hmm. And change, that's why, like, change can be good, change can be bad, because if you're trying to change by yourself and your partner is not on board with you, then it's if your partner's not on board with you, again, that's another red flag. Like, your partner is not going along with this journey with you. Like going to like the having like a not self-esteem, is it self-esteem? Being confident. Like, let's say that your partner starts dressing a certain way because they're working on themselves, and they start dressing a certain way, and your partner is like, oh, like, damn, like, you look good, like, I like what you're wearing. But then the toxic part will be like, why are you wearing that? Take that off.
No. I think the better one is like, oh, you cannot wear that out. You're only here at the house.
Only here at the house, because, like, who are you trying to impress? It's like, it's not who you're trying to impress. I feel like the way that, some people can probably do it like, well, just to impress somebody else, but some people do it because they feel better about themselves.
Yeah. If you know your partner, you should know, like, which way they're trying to do it.
You know what? And shout out to people who are breaking that, honestly, because it's so hard to break out of that. Like, specifically, like, with dressing up and feeling good about yourself, getting ready, and that they're breaking that. Like, I'm like, I don't want to say me, but whatever. Yeah, but just people who are like breaking out of that.
Yep.
Yeah. So hype your partners up. I hype you up? I'm like, why am I questioning? I hype you up. I do hype you up.
That toxic moment, she's like, do I?
No. See, I caught myself. I was like, no, I do hype you up. And then see and whenever I hype you up, you're just like what the hell? Like, no, like, I don't like how.
Pero man, no soy tóxico towards you. At least I just be like, not saying nothing back.
Yeah, you don't really say anything back, but because maybe maybe it's because maybe when you were a kid, I know you told me maybe because when you were a kid, like, people used to tell you stuff. So,
but like, honestly, I don't have I do not have it as bad as before. So me like doing that to you, like being like that towards you or with you, that's just because I'm comfortable with you, and I'm just doing it like that. But like, if somebody else would say something to me, I'd just be like,
like, whatever, like, you don't believe it.
Yeah, like, vete chingar de alguien más.
But what if they need it? Like, that's the thing. That's
honestly,
what I would love for you
to
embrace.
I don't really. No, okay, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, for you, that's my reaction, and I know that's not something you want from me.
Yeah.
But then I see it, if somebody else be offensive to me, this is the way I would take it too. So I think that's why I play like that with you.
Yeah.
But because I just don't want to make a big scene, and because it's not really affecting me if they're being down to me.
Yeah, like talking down on you. And another thing, ahorita que me estoy acordando, another thing that I did see on like abuser and the person that's being abused. Another reason, going back to the reason why people don't leave. I know I know we got a little bit off topic that right there, but another reason why some people don't leave, it's because ¿qué van a decir? ¿Qué van a decir de mí? Society, what's it's, and that's something that I feel like it's common in like our culture, where it's like, oh my gosh, no, like, if you get, especially like in marriage. With marriage, it's like, if you get married with someone, you have to stay with them. And that's like back in the day, right? Así es como pensaban antes.
No, pues es por eso dije earlier. If you want to break that, okay. And if you want to keep going with it, okay.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like you have to stay no matter what. No matter what, you have to stick with this person. No, you don't. No, you don't. That's my opinion. That's just my opinion. How do you feel about that? I'm like, I want to hear you. I'm like, how do you feel about that? Like, you have to stick through it no matter what.
Told you, I self love myself first before anybody else. So that means, no, I wouldn't be going off of that.
You wouldn't stick to that. Okay, I see what you mean. So you're gonna respect yourself before anything else.
I'm gonna love myself first.
Yes, love yourself before. Yeah, and I love that. Yes, I love that, because how are you gonna love somebody else? And how is it that you love yourself, you appreciate somebody else, and there's somebody else who doesn't love you and doesn't reciprocate that same love to you? Okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, see, I'm thinking of like so many things that and I'm just like, don't stick around for that crap, man.
Some people need to go, live it though, because sometimes you don't live it, or you haven't lived through it, and you don't know what's really going on.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's so much easier said than done. And there's just so many situations as to why some people decide to stick around, and they don't. Some people, they just don't see it. They don't see it because they see this person as like, damn, this is a person that maybe I've been with them for so many years, or I have kids with them, or I have to depend on them. So there's just so many factors as to why people stick around.
Yeah. So if you have thought about something more than at least 3 times, like your statistics saying that after 3 times they get divorced. So if you think about something more than 3 times that you feel your partner's doing to you, then that means you need to talk to them about it.
Like, if it's something that's bothering you?
Yeah, like you feel like, oh, they're doing this on the low key. Like, they're offending you. They're not saying it straight to your face, but let's say you go to bed or you're by yourself and you're like, I don't really like this situation, whatever the situation is. So should you, after the 3rd time you feel like this, when you notice it when you're by yourself, that means you should be talking to your partner about it then.
I think just starting with that, if it's really, in your head a lot, then you should already talk to your partner about it. I feel like, if something's bugging me, like if I know it's something that's gonna be bugging me like all day, then I need to talk to you, because then I'm gonna start being weird. I'm gonna, like, you know me, like, I'm gonna start being like a bit not standoffish, like I'm just not gonna be myself. And I feel like that's gonna bring other issues.
But you already know this. Like, you're aware of this situation. That's what I'm saying. For somebody that doesn't know about the situation, like, it's...
Give me an example.
Almost like it's in the back burner. Like, it does come up in their head, but they're not realizing that this is something that's bothering them. But when they're by themselves, they almost like a flash, like, it comes in their head. They're like, why did this happen?
Yeah. Like I said, if it's something that's going to be bugging you, then just talk about it. Porque luego, como dijiste ahorita, esto más se va a volver costumbre. And then you're going to bring, like, you're trying to break this whatever pattern, let's say, like for me, like I would like to break whatever patterns I didn't like from relationships that I've seen, or my parents. So if you continue to make it okay or ignore whatever is bothering you or you feel needs to be fixed, then it's going to continue to happen.
But if you were, what I'm trying to say, how you gonna tell somebody, or how can you tell someone this feels that situation is kind of weird for me, but because you already have a long relationship, you know how to figure it out that this is something that doesn't bother you, that bothers you. But for being a new relationship, how can you guide somebody to say, but showing them like, look, this is a situation that you probably need to look into it. Like, how can you guide them? How can you tell them?
Your partner.
No, like your friend. Si alguien te dice. But they
Oh, so you're
can't. They
talking about
can't
a
see
friend.
it. Yeah.
You're talking about a friend.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying in general, person.
Yeah, that's not, and just the example that I gave earlier, how like I have that I continue to do this and I didn't notice it, and then when somebody else told me, I was just like, oh damn, I guess I am doing it. On to the next. Okay, so we know that relationships can get toxic, and we know that it can get really, really bad,
Mm-hmm.
right? Up to the point where, just again bringing up the story that we talked about initially. But there's things that you can do to protect yourself. You always want to make sure to protect yourself. If you're not able to leave, or you're trying to leave but you can't because this person's always going to be there, there's always certain things that you can do, right? So one of those things is like whenever there's a situation that happens, so let's say that your significant other laid their hands on you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So don't think that it's not going to happen again, because it will. Most likely, if they did it one time, si el perro muerde una vez, va a volver a morder. They're going to promise you, they're going to tell you it's not going to happen again, I'm sorry, and they're going to cry. Again, easier said than done. You have to imagine just having a person in front of you crying, this and that. Pero agárrense los huevos and put in that police report. Put in that police report. If you have witnesses, have people. There's another thing that I looked up, that you can have actually a witness write a letter and write their statement on what they saw. That way you can continue to keep record. So that's why it's important to put in that police report. That way, if you ever feel like you need to put in a restraining order against the person, you will at least have a record of this person that they've been aggravating you.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's requirements sometimes where you can't just be like, okay, I want a restraining order, but you have to have a reason why you want to put in a restraining order. And of course, if a person is threatening your life or anything like that, you want to put in the report. Because unfortunately, in the world that we live in, unless if somebody actually does something, or if a crime is committed, then that's when the police will take charge.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's no crime committed, they didn't put a hand on you, like the person can just be standing in front of your house on your property, and they still cannot do anything.
Right.
So keeping records, if let's say medical, so let's say if it got the abuse was really bad, there's going to be medical records, and of course there's going to be a report as to how it happened or why it happened.
Right.
So putting in a police report. And now, how can you put in a police report? Let's say you have all of this evidence. What you can do, you can call your local police department. You can call your police department, put in the restraining order, and then you can also even go to your local police department to put in a restraining order request, I guess you can say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then because I feel like maybe it's not taken lightly, but they can also, let's say if the person, of course, if whoever has a restraining order, if they violate it, they're going to be put in jail. So that's a way that you can protect yourself.
Okay. Well, that's a good tip for our viewers here. If they feel, well, they shouldn't feel, you should do it.
Yeah.
And this is a great information for them, Margarita.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
But do you feel like that's it? That finishes off your relationship? You gotta move on after that? After abusive? No, after the abuse.
That you should move on?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Even before the abuse happens, verbal, it's because it's just, and again, I'm going to say a million times over and over again, it's easier said than done. Easier said than done, yes.
But for your opinion, it's like that should be definitely move on.
Yeah, that should be it. You should be gone.
Okay.
Because there's other people out there who are going to appreciate you. There's other people who are going to see who you are for you and value you. Because a lot of these men and women who are abused, they don't feel valued. They don't feel like and sometimes they even feel like they deserve what's happening to them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so there. It's so sad.
All right. Anything you got before I make a question to you?
Go for it. I want to hear.
My question is, so if you have been in a relationship, toxic or not toxic, what is the period of time that you should wait into moving on to a new relationship?
Moving on to a new relationship? That's interesting. And it's funny that you bring that up because I just heard about this not so long ago. And it's usually like, oh, a year and this and that. I want to say that as long as you're able to work on yourself, because if when a relationship ends, it takes two to tango, right? So depending on of course, the situation and the circumstance, you need to make sure that you work on yourself. Because whether you come out from an abusive relationship, or maybe it wasn't abusive, but there's certain traits that maybe because of both of you didn't work out. So I would have to say, as long as you're able to work on yourself and whatever toxic traits that weren't working out in the previous relationship, then work on that. So since we're talking about abuse, if you were being abused, work on yourself. Because that's just so much trauma that you went through, and then you're gonna bring it in again to the next relationship, and then I don't know, it's just again, relationships are really complicated. And even if it wasn't abusive, like it's still something that you still need to work on.
Yeah.
So so I don't feel like there should really be a timeline, but definitely not a timeline, like just work on yourself.
I think for me, from my opinion, the best timeline would be to try to work a goal of yourself. Like work something that you want, like a goal that you want to accomplish. Like opening something or learning a new trade or going to the gym. I think that really teaches you enough time to be able to move on to a new relationship. My opinion.
No, it really is. It really is, because I mean, they say that working, right now you mentioned working out. Like working out, I feel like it just helps you clear your mind. Whenever you work out, how do you feel? Like you feel like you have clarity, right? Like you feel like your mind is clear, you're positive, like, okay, I'm losing weight, I'm working hard, because working out isn't easy. You get what I mean?
Yeah. That's what's a good trait to do. Not a trait, but it's a good goal for yourself to do for a while at least.
And I like that you mentioned to pick up something new, because for so long you're so used to doing the same thing over and over again with this person, and you're so busy with this person, and sometimes you kind of lose yourself, I guess. Yeah. Oh yeah, like just like learning a new hobby, right?
Yeah, anything.
Yeah, just learning a new hobby. It seems like, hey, I just did that. I learned something.
Or picking a new sport, or picking a new hobby, something you wanted to do, never done.
How do you feel about dating though? Like between like the time that the relationship ended to
that's what I'm saying. That I wouldn't focus in that.
Dating.
I will be focused more on trying to work on not yourself, but picking a trait, even though I think it's more like a easier transition almost, because you're not overthinking of how am I gonna get there, but as long as it's something new for you, you might be interested and make it easier to just move along, and el tiempo se va, so it's gonna just, time is gonna be basically moving on, and at the same time you are as well, without noticing that.
Yeah, because I get what you mean, like you're gonna keep yourself busy.
Busy. You're just gonna, it's almost like a secret type of way to just not think about what you just went through.
Yeah. Can I ask you about your breakup?
My breakup?
Yeah, your first breakup.
Get the enemy first.
Like, do you feel like you I mean, you were young. Like, do you feel like you went through it, or like you needed to find yourself, or you needed to work on yourself, or you feel like you were too young, you're just like,
No, again, I think I rather work on myself, or love myself before. Not really worked on myself. I think I was already used to, my own self first. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you were going to school, so you were already preoccupied with something already. That took a lot of time.
I always preoccupy myself, so I don't really have issues like that.
Yeah. Okay. Just I want to hear your.
The easiest way for me to say it is like I've been used to being by myself, so I'm okay just moving on and doing things that
Yeah.
No.
I like that too. Definitely keeping
But it
yourself
doesn't
busy.
say, doesn't see, that is not saying that I didn't work with it before. You get me?
Yeah.
Like, I have worked with it already before, not because I was in a relationship or necessarily,
Yeah.
but I have done it already.
Yeah. I like that tip. Definitely keeping yourself busy. I mean, work is one thing, pero ya cuando sales del trabajo, it's just like, okay, what do you do now? Whether it's like going for a walk,
Getting a
working
new
out,
puppy.
getting a new dog. No, yeah, getting a new dog. Oh my gosh, dogs, honestly, they are your best friends.
Yes.
I really feel like, I mean, that's probably why dogs are service
Human's
animals.
best dog. Oh.
Yeah, a man's best friend.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think that's why they're service dogs, because they're freaking amazing. They're freaking amazing, and get yourself a dog. Yeah, if you can. Only if you can, because if you can't handle it, it's gonna mess you up emotionally. But it's like, I just got out of a relationship and now my dog's leaving me too.
Well, don't go in it with that set of mind.
No, go into the mindset is with
because dogs are a lot of work, and if you really put your not your mind to it, but your training towards them, they can be so awesome when they get bigger. Like walk, along with you without having a leash, play catch with them without no hesitation of them dropping the ball, throwing it back to them.
We need to bring them in the
podcast. Just make it more fun.
We need to bring Kobe and Coco on the podcast.
Pueda que un día. Where they're gonna be barking and you guys hear them barking already.
I know.
But moving to that, one question I do have for you.
Ask
away. Or two questions, kind of. And it kind of is not really a good one, but let's see. In your opinion, what color would be toxico for you?
Toxic color?
Like something, a color that this person always wears.
Color that the person always wears?
Or somebody that wears a color or a color.
I would say all black.
All black. Those are the.
No, but I really like
you cannot change it though.
I like it when they wear all black.
No, I'm just saying, like, so black is a toxic color for you. Black is a toxic color for you.
Man, no, I like black. Red.
That's why I said it's not gonna make sense, because I think it's all in our mind already. Red flags.
Red flags.
Toxic.
Toxic. Well, because usually, like, whenever it's something like danger, when it's danger, red, stop, red. I'd say red, yellow.
Aye?
Yellow.
Yeah, that's it.
And you have red on your shirt.
Yeah, but you got both almost. Your lipstick and your.
I'm a walking red flag right now.
Exactly. All right, the last other one that I have for you.
Is this our last one?
To close it off. Yes.
Last
is there a
difference? Guys.
Is there a difference from being jealous and being toxic for you?
Oh, it's the same thing.
No.
Jealousy is a toxic trait.
Nope. Not for me.
It is. It is for me. Okay, why isn't it? Why is it?
For me, toxic is what you said before. That it's somebody that brings you down with them or gives you props, but then a minute later tries to bring you down secretively.
Are we talking about a narcissist?
No, either way, it's a toxic. And this is a trait from toxic people that I've heard, because yo no sé nada de eso. And jealousy for me will be like, you're jealous, but you're not trying to hurt your partner. It's just like, oh, you don't like that situation. But you're not telling your partner, bringing them down with you.
I mean, as long as you're not bringing them down, it's not a toxic trait.
That's what we said, jealous and toxic. You just basically answered it.
But I feel like jealousy, it's just not a good.
But it's not. Is it different though? That was my question.
Well, for you, it's different.
So for you, ain't. But even though you just said it, yes, it was different.
I mean, as long as you don't bring your partner down. But how many jealous people are not out there that? I mean, I'm a jelly belly, but
so that makes you toxic.
But I've gotten better throughout time.
But does that make you toxic? You see?
Yeah. Because
being jealous makes you toxic.
Yeah.
Dang. So I think there's way more than to your type of jealousy.
I mean, I haven't felt jealous in a really long time. I think it was more like towards the beginning of the relationship. where I was just really jealous. Why? I don't know. But then again, jealousy, it comes from being insecure and having a low self-esteem. So again, it's just, your partner, my partner. Como se dice? You brought me up with you, right? You get what I mean? Like you brought me along with you.
Okay.
You lifted me
up. You see, that's why you have to be realistic to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because from my examples with jealous for me is I'm jealous of a situation, but I'm not bringing you down. And then toxic is, being toxic, being maybe goody, but then at the end still brings you down. And I say that because let's say for you that you're mentioning that like you were jealous at the beginning of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I seen it, but it wasn't anything big for me because I wasn't feeding into it. Like trying to make you jealous, get me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So for me, your jealousy was just, oh, you're jealous, but I wouldn't see you as toxic. But now if you feel that your jealousy made you toxic, then that's what I'm saying. That's for your own self.
Mm-hmm. What are you jealous about? What would you be jealous about?
It's different. I'm jealous
like
more.
If a fella came up to me.
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't be upset?
No.
Because I wouldn't
no, it's just that's what you're thinking, but I'm thinking of more on my side. Like, no, like if you want to react to the situation, then that means that's your loss. This is my gain, and I gotta move on because that's not jealous. Jealous for me more as like, let's see, maybe like you're always coqueteando, maybe.
Like being very extra friendly with other people?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I can think about something like that. I'm not saying I've never been in that situation, but I think that's probably the one that comes in my head right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it would take that much, you get me?
And I'm like, damn, coqueteando with somebody else. Like there's people who are extra friendly that might come out to be like if the ones están coqueteando, but they're really not. They're just really friendly, and it can come off as coqueteo.
But we're talking about a relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like if you're in a relationship with someone, and they're being like, oh, you're really extra friendly,
but
like someone else.
But I saying it, and the way I'm saying it this way is because if you know your partner, you're gonna know they're very friendly.
Mm-hmm.
So you wouldn't see it as coqueteando, but coqueteando.
Like ya tocar.
Yeah, pues
like,
sí.
I like your beard.
Ya, eso ya es diferente.
Oh hell no, I'll punch a bitch whoever does that shit to
Pero eso te digo, you see,
No, I
it.
wouldn't.
You gotta
I'm not
see
violent.
it. You gotta see it differently.
Yeah.
Just depends on the situation. Pero I know off topic, and I know we already gave our last one y nos vamos topic, pero something that when I was writing this down, I was like, when was my first time that I've seen something toxic? And I know some of you are not gonna agree with it, but maybe go watch the movie and be like, damn, this is very toxic, even though it doesn't go along with relationship, but the way they got their prey, it was almost like that. They would be like very nice, but at the end, so Interview of the Vampire. Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
Yeah, that movie, if you guys like vampires, that's a great movie. It's back in 1994. It's a good movie, but this is a movie that, they needed their prey, so they'd be like nice and nice to them. Y ya cuando they needed to suck their blood off, it was like that toxic came out of them.
It sounds like a narcissist vibe. It's giving narcissist vibes.
Bueno, if you want to call it that, go for it. But for me, it was more of a toxic.
I didn't talk about narcissists on there. I wanted to talk about narcissists.
And I don't see it as narcissists. Well, I don't know. Again, guys, go watch the movie. I haven't watched it in a long time. I remember some parts of the stories. But the funny thing, not funny, but the way it kind of makes you think a different type of toxic situations is because there was from small vampires to adult vampires to young vampires. So like gives you a perspective of a lot of situations.
Of everyone.
For you? Do you know any time you saw your first toxic personality?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
age?
I can't say.
What age? Mine, that movie came in '94, and the only reason why I've seen that movie is because.
We're talking about movies. Like
no,
TV
I'm just
shows
saying when
in
you,
general.
yeah, like your age. Mine, I was at least 6 years old when I saw that movie.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I do, but that's a part that I don't want to.
The age, okay.
The age or anything, no. But yes, I have seen the toxicity.
Okay.
It was since day one when I was born. I was looking at myself in the mirror. I'm just kidding.
And that's why she's wearing yellow, guys. All right, guys. Well, thank you again, and thanks for the new subs.
Yes, guys. Thank you. Oh, yes, we didn't thank the new subs. Thank you, the new subs. Welcome in. I hope you guys continue watching us,
and enjoy the videos.
Enjoying the videos, and back to going back to what our topic was. I know we talked about a lot about like abuse and stuff like that. So if you're going through it, guys, think about yourself. Like Lorenzo said over here, love yourself, take care of yourself, because you're worth it. You're really, really worth it, even though you feel like you're not. And I know sometimes leaving it's hard, but just know that once you leave, there's como dicen, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, there's definitely a light at the end of the tunnel, and just love yourself more before it's too late.
Okay, yeah, get some therapy, work on yourself, as Margarita said.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I guess there's greener grass on the other side of the fence.
The grass is greener on the other side. Sorry, my words are terrible. I'm terrible at at giving this, but love yourself, guys. Love yourself. You're worth it. You mean a lot to I was gonna say you mean a lot to a lot of people, but most importantly, you mean a lot more to yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure does for me.
Okie dokie. Well, that wraps it up for today's episode.
Okay.
And I hope to welcome more subscribers in the future.
All right. Well, yes, thank you again, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Peace.
Peace out.